My laptop is so hot right now that a disposable barbecue seems like a scam. I don't know who the fuck's idea it was to put the ventilation system, like the fan to suck in the cool air on the bottom of the laptop where your leg goes. It doesn't make any sense. Like for some reason the fan is on the far left side, and if you're a man and you're man spreading, and then like your leg will cover the fan entirely, and the computer doesn't get enough air inside to actually have an effective cooling system. So it's fucking stupid. I don't know why they don't put the fan in the middle, the bottom middle of the laptop, because then obviously if you're man spreading, the air can be sucked in through your gooch. Does that make sense? But if the fan is like being sort of sealed, like the ventilation is being cut off by your leg, it's not going to allow the computer to cool down. It's fucking stupid. I don't know whose idea that was. So I'm having to hold my laptop in a really awkward position just so it cools down because it genuinely just burned me. Like it was on my leg and then it started to get really fucking hot. So anyway, sorry for that introduction. Today we're going to be studying Bitcoin's price action, looking at what's been going on, and then trying to see if we can identify any trade setups, okay, or if anything is being presented to us. So I coded an indicator recently that basically its sole purpose is to show me the daily range from New York midnight to New York midnight, and then it marks the high and the low of the daily range. Okay, so my indicator is putting that on for me. I'm pretty sure you can see that there. And if I hide my drawings, then my whole chart just looks like this. Let me zoom out momentarily. So you can see this is what I've coded my indicator to do. It just gives me a little bit more context while I'm looking at 1 minute candles. Okay, because it's just a little bit more relieving for the brain. Okay, so anyway, it's quite helpful in fact. Let me get my drawings back. So this is Friday's price action here from the 27th to the 28th. It's denoted by these two black vertical lines, both being midnight opening. Okay, so the 24 hours between that is New York's Friday's price action. Friday's New York price action. Okay, I'm not really sure how to reference it to be what to reference it as, to be honest, but no problem. So as we go into today's price action, denoted by this black line to this one, okay, you can see that we're using the same key levels as Friday. For example, we have minute opening price, the 6:30 a.m. 1 minute candlestick. We have London open kill zones at first presented fair value gap. We have the first presented fair value gap of the first hour's dealing range, or the lunch macro, you could call it as well. I also have put the optimal trade entry Fibonacci on the first hour's dealing range, or the lunch macro, as you could also call it, to identify where the perfect retracement would be to go short. Okay, so it's actually anchored to the same first hour's dealing range. So you have the 9:30 till 10:30, and then the optimal trade entry is here. 3 to 1 is there. Okay, so we basically it performed exactly the same as it did on this day, and then the first percent fair value gap of that range is also here, and it shorted from that. Very impressive. So I mean, to be honest, this is exactly the same setup. Like this is literally exactly the same trading setup. Let me just make it a little bit more clearer for you to see. So as you can see, this is the first hour's dealing range here, and then this is the optimal trade entry associated to this. So it's pretty much performed the exact same trade as it did on Friday. What in the world? The first hour's dealing range, we came and took the buy side into the optimal trade entry whilst hitting the first presented fair value gap. And then we've got the first hour's dealing range. We come up, hit this buy side into the first presented fair value gap, which is also at the optimal trade entry. And then we shorted for a 1 to 3. Exactly the same as what happened here. And I'll just quickly do like a little edit for you so that you can see the difference once again. The similarity, not the difference, sorry, my apologies. You see? They are almost identical. Now that is quite incredible, to be honest. So I'm pretty sure that I've edited this video sufficiently so that you can see the screen flicking back and forth and showing this in comparison to the other one, okay? But now I will just show you the distance that they are apart. Okay, so obviously this is Friday's price action that we mentioned, and that's this area here, okay? And then as we scoot along, this is today's price action, and this is the same kind of setup. And to be honest, this trade is just still running. So there's really no reason for me to look for other entries. I should only have been extending my TP. from the optimal trade entry. That is twice as much as what I would have wanted to have gained. Let me switch to a 15-minute chart. So there's the first hour's dealing range, came back up into optimal trade entry and the first presented fair value gap, and then we shorted for a 3-1. Well, this is 6-1, but 3-1. And then, likewise, on this day, we did the exact same. First hour's dealing range, retraced, took this buy side, put a candle in the first percent fair value gap, rejected the optimal trade entry, shorted for 3-1. That's crazy. It's almost like it's perfectly structured. How strange. How strange. So I'm gonna do my best to edit this video to make it as concise as possible, because I'm gonna be trading a macro today, and I'm gonna be highlighting the importance of the macro and everything like that. So if you bear with me, I will in fact put the macro on down here, and I'll talk you through it as I'm doing it. Okay, so I've just finished editing the first half of the video. Now I'm just like sort of saving it. Now I'm going to be outlining the macro for you. So I told you that I'd be back at 3:15. It's now 3:45. It took me half an hour to edit that video. I couldn't even believe it. But to be honest, we haven't really missed much. So from 3:15 to 3:45, we need to wait 1 more minute until that candle closes. But essentially we have the high to the low of the macro here, as you can see. We've actually formed relative equal lows in here, which is quite surprising, because it normally would dig into it and then just leave the wick as the low. So it's surprising that it's formed relative equal lows here. So the macro, it can stay in this color, that's fine, but I'm gonna send it to the back. So the macro is important because the markets operate on something called fractal delivery, which basically means that the lower time frames and the higher time frames operate in sync. So this macro here is formed from 3:15 to 3:45. I'm not going to pretend like I know all of this and that about the macro. I don't know how he figured it out, ICT. I don't know how ICT figured it out. He just did. I just trust him. You should trust him as well. It's something to do with the formation of the higher time frames and how it's like the higher time frames are formed because of the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so this is my macro projection right here. So if we're taking the high first, then I wouldn't mind seeing price like really aggressively take that high and then potentially roll back into the range and use up the range. But to be honest, I just enjoy seeing what price says in relation to these macros. Okay, so I'm not sure how long this recording has been on already, but I think I've done a decent job of explaining the macro here. That's what I was waiting to form. This is how I use it. I also look for price to come back into the range at a later time, even if it displaces away from it now. Okay, but to be honest, because we're in a macro time, I wouldn't mind setting myself up for an entry here. We've just taken the high of the macro. I don't want to trust a short, because we take the high this beautifully. I don't think we'll hammer down to take the low. I think that's a little bit too obvious, you see. I think that we're going to end up utilizing this range, and price will be essentially range bound before making a decision. Okay, what I do like, maybe we can see a false bear flag here. So essentially we have the pole, and then the macro can be the consolidation of the flag, and then we might want price to trade a little bit out of this, but ultimately back up towards here. What did I say? Huh? No, I'm joking. Can you imagine if I was that cocky? Right, have a look at this though.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say what happened when I told you? Exactly what just happened. 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say what happened when I told you? What did I tell you?
Yes, that's beautiful. Look at the timestamp on what time it is now compared to what time that I called out. Obviously, it was like around here somewhere, and it was like as it was happening, it was before it happened, in fact. So we are pulling up to this liquidity up here. I'll just wait. What? Why? Just mark that with this little X up here. Crazy. So I do think that we're going to be pulling up to here. Obviously, this is the false bear flag that I saw and that I mentioned on that stream, thankfully. So this is how I'm using the macro. I like to use the macros. They're very good. So this is a beautiful way to end the video. I hope you've enjoyed what it is that I've displayed for you here today. I hope that I've made myself clear and concise enough for you to follow along with the things that I've been saying. Let's quite impressive, to be real. I'm gonna have to edit the rest of this video and basically compile all of the videos together. But yeah, so ultimately I think we're gonna end up here very soon, just so that buyers can offload their long positions up here. So if smart money did go long inside of this macro, it's likely to be either up here, up here, up here, up here, up here. To be honest, all of this is a like you know what it is, yeah. If price goes above here aggressively, it's gonna consume the whole of this. Because look, the stop loss is here, 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 even there. All of this time distortion here. The stop loss is all over this. Like I can literally watch. Let me show you how many stop losses there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's even someone shorting now. Mate, everyone's going short. You know what I mean? Oh, but it's just... Oh, sorry, I've made quite a large mistake. I've really ruined my video. But you understand what I'm telling you. People are shorting in this area and they all have the stop losses up here, okay? And then literally, as soon as one of these gets triggered, it's like a proximity mine. It's likely that price could just consume the entirety of it up back up to here over time. So I guess we'll see what happens. But the macro, what a beautiful reversal in this macro. We'll see what happens. I like this structure quite a lot. I do see price consuming all of this, but we'll just have to see, really, to be honest. I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm just going to end it here. Okay.
Didn't I tell you? Because I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
I felt as if it would be a little bit disrespectful not to give a final follow-up to the video that you've been watching, okay? So I actually initially posted the video on YouTube and it was all finished and I was just going to leave it there, okay? But I'm going to stitch this part into the video as well. So you heard what I just said before. My expectation was for price to soar higher and take out all of these stop losses up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These stop losses, those ones, these ones, and price literally did exactly that, and it delivered all the way up until this high. So watch the cursor. That's the high right there. So it swept it out just by that tiny amount. And then what did price do after it took these stop losses? Without me telling you, can you see what happened? Came straight back into the macro here. Let me extend it. Is that not beautiful? Do you not think that's amazing? Not only did it come back into the macro, it only came into the top highest portion of it and then rejected and started going higher again. But I just wanted to include this because this is just as important as everything else that I've said. So initially I said this is a false bear flag, we're going to send price up to this X, okay? But then I realized that the stop loss is all above it and price did in fact consume the whole of this move here, right there. And then from here we just came straight back into the macro. So it aligns perfectly with everything I've been saying. I said that price is gonna likely come up higher, then come back down into the macro and utilize this area. I said something like that. You'll have to quote me in exactly what I said, but I remember because I've just rewatched the video. But I just wanted to include this in there as well because it 100% is valid. And as well, it's just good for me to document what price has done in relation to the levels that I'm looking at, you know? So I'm just gonna leave this here with you. But yeah, I feel like now is definitely a good time to put on that video where it was like, what did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? And what happened? Exactly what I told. Because mate, that's literally like mood. Okay, that time I actually was going to like finish this video and go to sleep, okay? But then I came back onto my chart and I saw that price has actually delivered exactly to where I was calling out in the beginning. Okay, so like you'll be able to go back in this video and see I did say that the market will eventually be coming up to this green bar over time, and I made this gesture. Okay, that's exactly what the fuck just happened. We took this stop loss. Ah, that is beautiful. I'm a bit speechless myself as well. No, I'm not. I knew this was gonna happen. That's why I've been talking about it for the past fucking 15 minutes. For you guys on the video, it's only 15 minutes, but for me, it's actually been all day. Okay, so um, I think I've shown quite enough. I don't think there's much more to be said. I just wanted to include this final bit because, like, you guys wouldn't have saw that the market did in fact deliver exactly fucking where I told you it was going to go to, which is up here. Did I ever say that I wanted to see price go lower at all in this video? No, didn't think so. So we've been seeking this area here, and it actually did happen. So did my all these stop losses. My target for this was met. Retracement to macro, continuation to where I said it was gonna go. Right, anyway, I was gonna leave the video here. Like, actually, this time I actually will leave the video here. There's nothing more I want to say. Obviously, if we do end up coming up here, then I didn't think that was gonna happen yet. Obviously, price likely could go back up to there. In fairness, that does look probable now. But at the same time, I'm gonna go to sleep. So obviously, if I took trades, I made profit. You saw it. It's on the video. Everything's here. I hope you enjoyed. It happened again. I was going to go to sleep. I came onto the trading chart, and then I saw this. What the fuck? Bro, we don't play no games here. Okay? We don't play no games. You heard? You heard? We don't play no games. I did not expect it to come all the way up here this fast. What the fuck? In fact, I literally said I do not expect it to go up there that fast. Obviously, not just then. I'm talking about like in the previous parts of the video. I said that, but what in the world? This is my analysis from today, by the way. I hope this video really renders into your brain. Can you even believe that? What in the world? Anyways, I'm gonna actually leave this here because I really need to go to sleep now. But goodness me, can you believe the reaction from this macro? What the fuck? That's absurd. Ah, feels quite good. Right, anyway, I'm going. Bye.